If you want to be equal parts from the country and the city, Bonner Springs, Kansas is going to be the place for you. Best of all, homes here are still very, very affordable. Case in point, this home behind me is surprisingly affordable for all that you're getting. And if you stick around until the very end, we're gonna tour every square inch of this home behind me. But before that, we are gonna check out all that Bonner Springs has to offer. Fun fact, Bonner Springs, Kansas is one of the only cities in the Kansas City Metro that is located in 3 counties. So it's in Johnson County, Leavenworth County, and Wyandotte County. The reason that that's kind of important is because based on which county you are, you could have a different tax rate because the counties do determine that. So you're gonna wanna watch out for that. Very unusual. But we're here at this Bonner Springs home. It's a 4-bedroom, a little bit outdated home, but it sits on 3 acres. It's kind of this raised ranch style where you've got main living area with these nice bay windows. I would say the only negative about this house is, well, number one, it's outdated. So 2 negative. It's outdated. Number 2, it's on a pretty busy street, but you do have a lot of land back there that if you want to utilize. But if you're sitting out front, you will hear that busier street. Coming through here, and we're gonna check out this kitchen. It's a pretty traditional raised ranch. It's got kitchen, 3 bedrooms up, 1 bedroom down, more living space downstairs. The only thing that's a little bit unusual about it is that this kitchen is actually pretty big for a lot of these layouts. The reason is because you got the sliding glass door and a nice deck off to the side. We're gonna check out the backyard in a little bit, but first let's go check out the 3 large bedrooms on the main level. Coming through here, bedroom number 1 is probably 9 by 9. You can fit twin size beds in here easily. If you wanted to put a bunk bed, that's probably what I would do. I want the kids as far away from my bedroom as possible, so they would be down here. My bedroom would be way down there. So if they had to come wake me up in the middle of the night, they'd have to come down this long, scary hallway and brave that, okay? Because I don't wanna be waking up by my stinky boys in the middle of the night. Just kidding. Of course, I love my boys. This, I'm just saying that because I'm tired, because they were in my bed last night. But this room, obviously, kind of a 9 by 9, has the wallpaper as well. Probably need to rip out the carpet, although for an older house, I would say it's pretty good condition. Through here, you've got the hallway bathroom, and it is a full bathroom. You've got the nice pocket door, which is kind of a staple of an older house. I do remember that when I was growing up in a house built in the 1970s, 1980s, we had 2 pocket doors in our bathrooms. Older, but clean, nice, well lived in. Actually, so I misspoke. I thought that there were 3 bedrooms up here and then 4 down here. Come to find out, I'm wrong. This bedroom is the 3rd bedroom, and then you do have the primary bedroom off of the side here too. But this one is the biggest out of all 3 bedrooms that we've seen. Probably I would say 10 by 10, good square bedroom, nice closet space that you can see too. You just open that, get you a good look at everything. And then the last is, again, this raised ranch is a little bit differently shaped, but the last is the primary. The only negative about this, having 4 bedrooms up here is nice, especially if you want your kids close to you and they don't have to go downstairs. They don't have to come upstairs if they needed to see you, and you don't need to go downstairs in case something happened to them. What's nice about this is you can still fit a king size bed. You do have a nice tiered ceiling with a nice little accent above that you can see with the chandelier. And then you also have in-suite bathroom. All right, come back downstairs. Let's go down here. You've got behind here, you get your laundry and your hot water heater. So if you did need to do laundry, obviously this is where it would be. You've got another place where you could store a child underneath this stairway here. I'm just kidding, obviously, with that. But what you could do with this, speaking of children, I've always thought if I lived in a house like this, what I would do is I would finish this out, put lights in there. This would be their playroom. And we could keep them all in there, be entertained for hours. And then you've got large living area downstairs that is completely finished on this side. This side is going to be more of an entertainment area. Put a TV up there, whatever it is you want. And then you've got a half bath right through here. Now, I told you that this house was on 3 acres. And what I was kind of surprised at was why this house hasn't already sold. Because houses on acreage, I mean, I just listed one in Liberty. It sold within like 2 days. This has been on the market for like 15 days. So first of all, the market's shifting. Give us a call. 816-4-MOVE-KC is our number if you're looking to buy or sell in Kansas City. 816-4-MOVE-KC. Call us, text us, whatever to get a hold of us. Email us, and anything we can help you. Okay. So 816-4-MOVE-KC is our number. But the also thing I wanted to mention too, like we said, we just listed a home that sold in like 2 or 3 days that was on 3 acres. But there's a reason that this one hasn't sold yet, and I kind of want to show you. So come follow me. Let me show you a couple really nice features about the home. and then I'll show you also why this house isn't sold yet. So if we come over here, we're gonna see, yes, this house has a nice side deck, the area that we couldn't access through the kitchen. If we come through here, what you're gonna see is that while it sits on 3 acres, a lot of the acreage is right back there and it's entirely wooded. So that is really hard to swallow when you live on 3 acres, but it feels like you're only living on like 20,000 square feet. By no means is it a small lot. I mean, you have plenty of room out here, but kind of noisy. The mic probably is picking it up. You got ambient noise of the road. You know, you're kind of close to the airport. You're kind of close to the highways. So it's not like true country living. So that's why I think this house has been on the market for just a little bit. Number one, the acreage is not like true like pasture. And even if it was wooded, there's a pretty steep drop off down there. So you can't really even get down there. It's not super usable. You'd have to really clean it up. So that's one thing that you're gonna wanna think about. You don't wanna just say, hey, 3 acres, it's fantastic, it's the best house ever. You're gonna wanna really think through the purchases that you make. Bonner Springs Aquatic Park is where we are. Every city has something like this. It's like a community center where you can come and take your kids out to the pool and do all that kind of fun stuff. This is Bonner Springs Center. Down there, you're gonna see with the drone footage, you do have a really nice pond that you can fish out of, take a walk around. You also have soccer fields behind me there. You have a disc golf course in which you can play at any time. It's pretty abandoned over here because obviously it's the end of summer and all the kids are back in school. Obviously you don't get to see the place in full swing, but during the summers, I'll bet you this place is packed with people. You have people using the pool, people using the slide. I mean, this is actually a pretty good aquatic center for the ones that I've seen. It's pretty comparable to, I mean, it might even be comparable to the Prairie Village Aquatic Center. So this is what you can expect if you move to Bonner Springs, probably a hub of community activity here. Welcome to a Bonner Springs neighborhood. This is a typical Bonner Springs neighborhood. Houses in this neighborhood probably go anywhere from like the 200s to the low 300s. And you can see it's quiet. This part of Bonner Springs, as I said before in the other house, this part of Bonner Springs is actually in Wyandotte County. And we're gonna stay in Wyandotte County after this because we are going to head to one of the cool areas of, it's technically not Bonner Springs, but we're gonna head to the Ledge Village to kind of show you what you can do around here. But this house is on the market right now. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. First, as you approach, you can see nice kind of true ranch style home with a basement. But kind of a few nice things, does need some upgrading. First thing that I want you to notice is it's got a huge window over here. So you've plenty of natural light. You can see who's coming up your driveway, all of that. And if you do need it to be ADA compliant, you can easily put a ramp right here. So that's a couple of things that I'm looking at as I'm going up to the home. But then you come in, it's your pretty standard raised ranch. You've got living room with pretty nice wood floors. I mean, these are solid wood floors, pretty good condition. And then these windows, what I like about these is that they do open still, so they're not just picture windows. You can pull these up and you can just pop them up and open them. But they are old. Like, this house does need quite a few cosmetic and more than cosmetic upgrades, but there's a couple things about this house that are nice. So first, you can see you've got a bigger than usual kitchen, especially in a house like this. You like this center cabinet here with the butcher block countertops because that gives you just a lot more space to cook and to do your kitchen stuff, baking or whatever it is you do in your kitchen, okay? The second thing is, this used to be where the house ended, but then they built on and added this section here. Now, a couple things I want you to note about this section. The first thing is that it has a built-in separate kind of window AC unit. It's not really a window unit, it's kind of built into the wall, but it's a separate built-in AC unit probably because the ducting is either not as efficient in this area. There's a slight temperature increase just coming from that area to this area, and that is common with add-ons. This isn't a recent add-on. This is probably a pretty old add-on. It even comes with a chimney and built-in bookshelves as well. So this is actually a addition to the square footage of this house because, as you can see before, it was actually pretty small. And this would also make it much easier for you to host because then you have another area for people to sit around, watch TV, play games, whatever it is you want. And then from here, you can go outside. Either, fortunately or unfortunately for you, it does back up to a lot of people. Most people don't mind being in neighborhoods like this. You kind of know exactly what you're looking for when you start looking for a house. So if you do mind being in a neighborhood like this, you probably would never look at this house anyway. But I think this is pretty decent space for the size of the house that you're getting, and the size of the lot, and the size and the type of neighborhood that you're getting too. You also have outdoor storage which is a nice shed. Fun fact, since I became a dad, I look at envy with other people's sheds. That's like just something that genetically changes in you. Once you have a kid, you're like, man, I need more like places to store stuff. I don't know why, but it just happened, okay? So now I'm thinking about building a shed in my backyard, even though I know nothing about building almost anything. So if I do build a shed, it's probably gonna be pretty horrible. But that shed is pretty nice, and I wouldn't worry about any structural things for that shed. As we go through here, this is the garage. And in this floor plan, the negative is that you have to go through the garage to get to the basement. So as you come through the garage, you have your 1-car garage, and obviously you can pull all the way in here. And then this is how you can get to the basement. Now, a couple things you're gonna wanna watch out for in houses like this. Sometimes people will put washer and dryer right here. Now, the problem with that is you have water lines going through a less insulated part of the house. So especially if a house like this was like flipped and they moved laundry here, I would be worried if you're buying during the warm weather time to be really, really careful, because once it gets cold, if it hasn't been tested outside to be a hospitable place for your washer and dryer, it could freeze over, and that could be a big issue for you. It's hard to imagine that Kansas City freezes over, especially a day like today where it's like 92 degrees and like 100% humidity, but it does get very, very cold here. So common things that I see in this area is that it gets really cold, and if you have water lines running through this area, it can definitely freeze over. Let's go downstairs and we'll show you what this basement looks like. As we get downstairs to this basement, you can see that there are a lot of things in here from like the 70s, the 80s. You've got shag carpet on the walls, which is pretty unique. All the floor has been torn up. So one of the things that I'm always thinking about is, if the floor has been torn up, why is that the case? And the easiest way to tell is that if you look right here, you can see there's probably some sort of water event that stained this wood paneling here, and it went all throughout the house so that they had to rip up the wood floors, or whatever floors were here. I don't know if they were wood, if they were vinyl, if they were laminate, linoleum, all that kind of stuff. So you're always looking for contextual clues. You've also got this drop ceiling. You can see some water stains here. I don't think that the water event happened that was like, it was probably like a sewer backup, or it was probably a failed hot water heater. Those are the two most common things to get water into the basement. But another thing too that you have to think about if you're buying a house like this, when you look at this and you look at this, okay, you can't tell the walls behind this. Once we get back to that beautiful house where we started at in Bonner Springs, you're gonna see that it's kind of like the basement is like half finished and half not, okay? You can't really tell in this room the structural integrity of these walls because it's all covered up. And unfortunately, although you will probably rip this up after you buy this, you can't rip it up before you buy it. You can't rip it up because it's still the seller's property, and if you don't own it, you just can't rip it up, okay? So when you come through, it'd be one thing where if this was like finished really nicely and you're like, of course I don't want to rip it up, and if there are issues behind there, I guess I can live with that because it's a really nicely finished basement. But this is kind of the best of no worlds, because you've got a not so nice finished basement here, and you can't see the structural integrity of the walls. But if you come through here, this is where your HVAC is. That is definitely much, much older. And then as we come inside, you can see that half of this is actually under a crawl space. And it's, like pretty dirty in there. So good place for storage. You're probably gonna wanna put down a vapor barrier or something like that in order to store stuff there. But this is kind of strange basement, I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's go upstairs and check out the bedrooms, and then I'll tell you how much this house is listed for. Now that we're back in the main level, let's go down to the 3 bedrooms. First bedroom, or actually this is the bathroom. First bathroom, again, a little bit dated. It's not like you couldn't live here though. When you say dated, a lot of people are like, well, I've got to rip out everything and get ready to live here. It's like, okay, you could live here now and do the upgrades slowly. Obviously it's a hassle to like move all your stuff in and then have to rip stuff out. I would definitely want to do it before, but what's nice about this is you do have laundry on the main level in that room. And then here, what I've always found interesting about these bedrooms is that when I first was a real estate agent, I learned that you have to have egress to call this a bedroom. Okay, it has a closet, you have to have egress. But what I learned recently, even from a real estate appraiser, is that this is probably going to be considered a bedroom because that was typically the style of the commensurate bedrooms that they built at that time. So some of these houses are going to have windows that are this high because what I learned was egress needs to be, you know, it's like 34 inches off the ground so that a kid could get out. Obviously, I would have a hard time getting out of this if there was a fire. You could as an adult, but like my 5-year-old son, no way, right? So, but he said to me that if these bedrooms are common in this neighborhood, which I can see like 2 of them from where I'm standing right here, this can be considered a bedroom. So I learned something when I was talking to him. As we come to this side, you have the secondary bedroom, which has those high windows as well, a little bit bigger. It's just probably 10 by 9. So plenty of room here for a twin bed or even a queen size if you really wanted not too much, if you didn't really need that much living room. And then the last is that the primary bedroom is actually pretty massive. At one point, okay, this primary bedroom ended here, and all of this behind me is an addition, okay? It used to be just this kind of raised ranch, just straight here, and ended right here. So this addition probably happened with that other addition that we were in before. So here you have your bedroom, again with the higher windows, and then as we come through here, this addition gives you one of the biggest closets that I've ever seen in this style of home. It's seriously massive. It's so big, and then you also have, I think this is an ironing board. So whoever irons their clothes, I don't know. I don't think I've ironed my clothes in maybe 7 years. Okay. That's why my shirt's all wrinkled, but I don't know why you'd ever use an iron, especially when you can steam stuff too. I don't know. But then this is the bathroom that was added on. Obviously for this one, you could tell probably somebody elderly lived here because you have a 0 entry shower and you have these handles. You know what? Even though I'm not elderly, I would still enjoy a 0 entry shower. I think it's nicer than the bathtub that we have at our house. You have dual vanities, which is really nice. And then you have all of this storage space, which I think is great. So this home is on the market right now for $275,000. If you're interested in this Bonner Springs house, then give us a call, 816-4-MOVE-KC. 816-4-MOVE-KC is our number. This is the Legends Outlets, and while technically not in Bonner Springs, it's hard to find something in Bonner Springs proper besides the park that we've already seen. But the Legends Outlets is a very popular area for not just people in Bonner Springs or in Kansas City, Kansas, but also everywhere around. It's one of the most popular shopping centers in the Kansas City Metro. As well as that, there's also, as you can see behind me, Children's Mercy Park, which Sporting KC plays in. That's our men's soccer team. The women's soccer team plays in Berkeley Riverfront at the new CPKC Stadium. Over on that side is the Kansas Speedway. So I think you can watch NASCAR. I don't know anything about NASCAR. Over there you have Bass Pro Shops, and then behind me you have Nebraska Furniture Mart. Now, I'm a West Coaster, so if you are watching this and you're like, well, duh, Nebraska Furniture Mart. I had never been to a Nebraska Furniture Mart until I stepped into this one. It is a huge department store where you can buy all sorts of crap that you don't really need and spend a lot of money. We bought our first TV, probably 3 months ago. We bought our first TV that we've ever had since Emily and I have been married at Nebraska Furniture Mart. Pretty cool, went around, picked it up, way bigger than any Best Buy that I've been to or any department store that I've been to. So I thought that was pretty wild. The rest of the Legends Outlets is over there. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll be able to see it on the drone. There's a little smokestack and just shopping outside. I've never quite understood why we don't have more enclosed shopping malls, but Legends is a great area if you want to spend way more money than you need to. But look, if you want to buy stuff, then all you need to do, download Facebook, okay? Set your location to Overland Park, and then buy all the used stuff from the rich people in Johnson County, okay? Don't come out here and buy new stuff, okay? I only come out here if I can't find something on Facebook Marketplace. And if I can find something on Facebook Marketplace, you better believe that I'm trying to negotiate them down to half of what they're asking. So that's just a tip for living in Kansas City or living anywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. Do that instead of coming to places like this. So we're back at this Bonner Springs home that is surprisingly affordable. Like I said, it is massive, and there's a pond on this property. I'm not talking about this koi pond, or actually we saw a couple frogs in here earlier. I'm not talking about this pond. In the backyard, there's actually a very large pond that's partially on this property. But come through this beautiful stonework and this beautiful entryway to see that this house is expansive on the inside. As you come inside, you've got all these darker accents, which of course is up to you if you like or not, but immediately you come into a formal dining room. This formal dining room has these awesome plantation shutters. It's got this awesome crown molding, plenty of room for your family to eat. From there, you come into this pantry where you can keep your wine, keep all your supplies. And of course, it flows easily into a very large, amply sized kitchen. Plenty of counter space for all your cooking, all your cleaning, all your chores. And one of the favorite things about the kitchen is this. As you come in here, this is more pantry space, but you also have a workstation in here. I could see you connecting a security system here. This could be where you monitor your perimeter or inside your house. This could also be like a little table where you kind of do simple paperwork, but there's a massive pantry behind me. And as we come through here, of course, you've got your sink, which it's got this stone accent, this rock accent, which is pretty cool. And you've got a big range right in the middle here. And then you've of course got your pendant lights. This would be a great place to cook breakfast for your kids. I could picture my kids sitting here, me cooking breakfast, you know, serving them pancakes, having a good time out there. And if you don't want to eat in the formal dining room, this is the eat-in part of the kitchen where you can just have a round table here for more informal dinners. We're gonna get out to the porch in a little bit, but before that, I do want to show you this extremely large, high-ceilinged living room. Now, if you look up, I don't think these beams are structural. I don't think they actually do anything to support the property. But what this is just you've got floor-to-ceiling mantle. And what's cool about this mantle, if you come to this fireplace here, you can peek right through and you can see that it goes all the way through. So if you turn this on, you can enjoy this from the deck, which we're gonna go to right now. As we go out to the deck, you're gonna get a glimpse of the pond that is partially on the property. Now, whether you want a pond on the property, that's kind of up to you. I would kind of see it as a plus because I have young kids and I think it'd be kind of fun for them to fish. You can definitely see that you have plenty of space to entertain, to grill, do your barbecues, have a party. That it has a TV inside it to keep it enclosed during the crazy weather that we have here in Kansas City sometimes. You've got your yard, which we're gonna see in a little bit here, and you could probably see better on the drone shots. You have your yard, and then you've got the pond behind there. Whether that's a stocked pond or not, I would imagine that it is to keep the mosquitoes away and keep the bugs at bay, but you also have a pretty amply sized yard as well. So let's go back inside and check out the primary bedroom. Back through this living area, the primary bedroom is through this hallway. And what I like about this is you can hang your pictures here, and I do really like, I think one of the best upgrades that you can make for your house is hardwired lighting. You don't want that cheap stick-on stuff that's running off battery power. I think that honestly, at least in my opinion, I think that looks kind of cheap. I think that you want something like this, that you can turn on and off with a switch that's hardwired into the wall. I think that's classy. I think that makes the house look a lot nicer, gives it much more better ambiance. Under cabinet lighting is something that you could do like that too. But this is a very, very large primary bedroom. The first thing I want to point out is that first you have ample size for a huge bed and a wardrobe, a chest, end table, drawers, whatever you really want to keep in this room, you really can. The second thing is you have a great view of the pond out back. So this opens, the plantation shutters open, and you can see your pond. And the last thing is that you have easy access to your deck out back, so right when you wake up, if you wanted a coffee out back, easy access to that. Come through here, we have the primary bathroom, I'm sorry, and you've got two large vanities, so his and hers, and then you've got a really large tub as well. Not jetted, which is the way I prefer my tubs, don't want a jetted tub. And then, if you don't want to take a bath, obviously, you have a really large shower, it's deep, and it goes all the way back there, so you don't have to worry about splashing outside or anything like that. Off to the side, more storage for any linens that you have, and then this leads to the primary closet, which is sizable in its own right. You have this built-in chest of drawers here where you can keep socks, underwear, all that stuff. Hang up all your clothes up here, and then another place for your shoes if you have a nice shoe collection. And the nice part about this is that it is right off the laundry. So as you come here, you change, you throw your clothes right in here, laundry, washer dryer goes right here. And then what's nice about this too is you have a laundry sink right here so that you can wash those stains out of your clothes. My kid just threw up on me the other day, and I wish I had a laundry sink because I have to take it upstairs, wash it in cold water, throw it in the laundry. Kind of a hassle. If you lived here, wouldn't have to worry about any of that. So now that we're back into this area, this is the garage entrance, and we have a massive garage. Typically don't show you the garages, but this garage is massive and it's worth seeing. The reason that it's worth seeing is, I mean, this is a newer build, so you're not gonna have, anything that's like super old in this house, but 3-car garage, ample room. If you wanted 2 large cars here and a boat or something like that there, you can do that easily. There's plenty of storage, plenty of room in this garage. What's nice about this garage is that as you come through, you also have the mudroom where you could keep your shoes, hang your coats, hang your keys, whatever it is you want to do. Your kids come in from, you know, a muddy day, dump all your stuff here. You've got your half bath here for the main floor for your guests to use. And then through here, you have a very large coat closet. In fact, one of the largest coat closets I've seen. If you have a whole bunch of people over, they can all hang their stuff there. Let's go upstairs and check out what we have up there. This is a 5-bedroom house, so absolutely massive. Let's go. So in this room, pretty sizable. Again, you could fit a king size bed in here easy. You have nice wainscoting all around. And then you also have this bench. You can spend all your days here to, you know, read your books. It's probably gonna be your kids' room, which is why the colors are the way that they are. Hang out right here in the morning, reading a nice book. What's nice about this is they also have their own restroom. So you've got a nice sink. And then my kids would love this because they're younger. This is like made to be a playhouse. Besides the clothes that you can keep there. Beyond this, I mean, honestly, what I might do, you could put like some drywall up here just to, you know, frame it out a little bit, and then make like a little secret room back here. My kids have a secret room right now. They absolutely love it. It's a ton of fun. This would be a great place for a playroom, a secret room, a clubhouse, or something like that. And then coming through here, you do have the second part of this Jack and Jill toilet here, and then leading through here, this is the sink for the other bathroom, other bedroom, and then you lead into a very large, very pink secondary bedroom. So here, nice window, nice plantation shutters. I mean, these are really nice because you can easily just shut off all the light that you want to from here, which for me, you know, I like sleeping in like the very, very dark. I don't like any kind of light coming through, so that would be nice. Probably put actually another blackout set of curtains over that. And then you do have a pretty sizable closet as well through here. One thing that I kind of glossed over that I do want to show you is they have a pretty sweet homeschool room setup that I know my wife would love. So follow me. Actually has to go through this bathroom here. The only, I think, negative to this is probably that you have to go through the bathrooms to get to it. But this is really cool. You got the shiplap, the floating shelves, places for your supplies, plenty of outlets. You've got your television, a whiteboard. This is the perfect homeschool room. My kids would all be sitting here. My wife would try to teach them things. She does a great job. This is a great room to have. If you didn't want this to be a homeschool room, you could turn this into a game room. You could turn this into probably too small for a theater, but it could be like a TV room if you want the TV separate from everywhere. And don't stop watching because the basement is absolutely really well done as well. So let's go to the other bedrooms. And then through here you have your linens closet. Put your towels, put your linens there, and then come through here and you've got another ample sized bedroom. What's nice about these bedrooms is they all have attached bathrooms. So nobody has to really share at least a sink. Those two have to share a toilet, but this one has its in-suite bathroom. And well, nothing special, nothing flashy. I mean, you don't really need much for a secondary bedroom. You've got your sink, toilet, and your shower. And then through there, you've got your closet. So first thing I noticed about walking through here is how deep this basement is. I mean, this staircase, you know, having probably the typical 14 stairs or something like that, it's got really high ceilings because you're getting pretty deep underground, which is nice because most of the time with a basement area, the thing that's not so nice about it is that you kind of do feel like you're underground, which you are. But with this one, you do feel like this is just another extension of the house. So through here, you have a really good size, full bathroom. So first you've got the nice marble countertops, you got this really cool stone sink, and then you've got this walk-in shower. It's pretty much zero entry. Through here, you have another basement garage, which is honestly a fantastic touch, especially if you have a riding lawnmower. This is a good area to have a workshop, really anything that you want. And then also what's nice about this area too is you do get to see a little bit of the concrete in the finished area of the basement. We'll see some of that more in the unfinished areas, but what's important about it is as you come through, Foundation is one of the big things that can cost you a lot of money. So you want to look for cracks, shifting, water intrusion. All of this stuff is very, very important to the vitality and the enjoyment of your house, because once water starts getting in, once your foundation starts to fail, it's a very expensive repair and you're going to be pretty worried about that. So it's nice, it looks great. I mean, this is not that old of a house. So let's go and see the unfinished part of the basement before I show you this awesome entertainment part. So through here, you have another part of the basement that is unfinished. This is mostly for storage. A couple other important components are here though, like it has dual zone heating and cooling, which is great. You have 2 HVAC systems. It's good for the longevity, or it's good for the enjoyment of the property. The only bad thing is probably, you know, like if one goes out, I mean, you have 2 more that can go out. But you basically have 2 HVACs that can go out, okay? So that's the only negative part. And then of course you can see more of the property and the concrete here. And this is the actual foundation with the plumbing. So let's go, there's a couple other cool things that I want to show you in this basement. First of all, being this gym. Nicely finished home gym. Of course, none of this stuff is expected to stay. When you're buying real estate, you're buying the land and everything affixed to the land. But really, I mean, if you asked for this house has been on the market probably long enough that maybe they would give it to you, right? You got your elliptical. It's a great space. I mean, honestly, 10 years ago, I'd be all over this. Now, I don't really work out that much because I've 3 kids and 1 on the way. So we just go to the YMCA now. But let's go in there and let me show you the crown jewel of the basement, this entertainment section. So this could be your game room, this could be your poker room, this could be really anything that you obviously want it to be. It has a wet bar and a TV over the top, so if you wanted to just sit here and enjoy the game there, you could do that while serving drinks. What's also unique about this one too is that it has an oven down here, so if you wanted to cook something, your like pigs in a blanket or something like that, you can cook it here and not have to go upstairs. It's got your microwave. It's got really everything that you need. It's completely outfitted. It's plenty of room too. You've got this old rustic wood. This, I think this is granite countertop, just made to kind of seem old and rustic. And then if you wanted to go outside, I mean, this is probably where a pool table is, right? See this kind of lower light here, it's parlor light. And then if you go outside, you got another slab. You can have an extension of your barbecue if you're upstairs. If you want to do it like up-down barbecue, you could do that. But really cool, and then this gives you a better view of the yard. The only thing that's negative about this yard is it slopes quite a bit, but I'll bet you that once it gets kind of snowy here, you could slide and crash right into that gate. My kids have done it in a yard that's like right near our house. They slide and they crash into the gate and they kind of wonder like, why are they all hurt? But that's just part of raising kids, I guess. Let's go back inside. There's one more room I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna tell you the price, because if this house was in Overland Park or Lenexa or Olathe even, I could easily see it being close to $1 million, but you're gonna get it for far less than that because you're in Bonner Springs, and Bonner Springs is not a horrible area. It's a pretty desirable area as well. The last room that I wanna show you is this. I think it's kind of a non-conforming bedroom. It's got, the window is probably a little bit too high for it to be a conforming bedroom. But you do have a closet, and then you do have a TV there. You're gonna get all of this in Bonner Springs, Kansas for $800,000. That is way, way cheaper than if this was just moved deeper into Johnson County or even in Liberty. I think you're getting a great deal out in the Kansas side. You're talking about areas like Bonner Springs, Kansas City, Kansas. You get property that's a lot cheaper than it would be elsewhere in the Kansas City Metro, but you gotta call us 816-4-MOVE-KC. Now, if you don't like Bonner Springs, then click right here because we're gonna check out a different area right now.